Hello everybody, Sedrik and CJ here, CRWC commentary, and we'll be reviewing AEW Dynamite. So, this was a pretty good AEW.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'll go ahead and say that.
I can't say overall, but for the very most part, this was a good show.
Yeah, there's no show that's good overall. No. But overall, yeah, it was much better than it was not.
Yeah, normally it's not like this, but
the only really cardinal sin they kept having was the matches running too long. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot of complaints.
I got my complaints, but they're few, very few. So let's get into this. MJF is talking to Tony Schiavone, who asked him about being pinned. MJF says that Jay needs to savor those 3 seconds. Adam Cole calls on the cell phone, but he appears on the monitor. Adam says he's worried due to MJF solo defending the Ring of Honor tag titles. Garcia comes in, and MJF wants to know if he's going to fight the sports entertainer in Menard's accent or the pro wrestler. Garcia steps up to him and says he's going to get the pro wrestler. Roderick Strong is wheeled in by the Kingdom. Garcia leaves. And MJF says that Roderick is just a joke and a waste of time, and he walks off. Strong is angry and says that it's time to remind the people just who he is, looking as mean as he can in a wheelchair with a neck brace that doesn't require someone to be in a wheelchair, despite him having 2 matches and attacking one of the enhancement talent, after a short match.
Isn't it amazing to be able to get paid for doing absolutely nothing?
Yep. And I note when he says he's going to remind people just who he is. I said good luck with that in AEW and the booking style. So Daniel Garcia versus MJF. It was a good opening sequence, ending with MJF shouting for Danny to show the people why he's the future. MJF steals Garcia's boast, and after another sequence, Garcia begins to dance, but Menard stops him. Garcia backs MJF up in the corner, and well, this pleases the champ. Garcia showing some initiative, some frustration, some aggressiveness, some assertiveness. MJF calls for sportsmanship only to get slapped and then retaliate with a poke to the eye. So sportsmanship has been gained. MJF hits an outside gut wrench bomb for a 2 count. MJF, this is during the break started, but I don't know when they came back. I didn't hear any verbal cues to let me know, so I just scratched out that during the break part. But this started during the break. The MJF beats on Garcia, yelling for him to give the people a reason to believe in him. Garcia fires up, even hitting a nice high angle German suplex, and then he hit a slight kind of brain buster for a 2 count. MJF makes a comeback, hitting a shoulder buster and then a guillotine hammerlock DDT for a 2 count. I guess this is when the break is over. MJF tries the Panama Sunrise only to miss and jam his knee. Garcia attacks the knees and forces MJF into a single arm pile driver for a 2 count. Garcia gets the scorpion hold and he lays back, and MJF uses that to apply the Fujiwara armbar and score the submission victory. Post-match, MJF extends the hand after cutting his music. Menard and Parker block the handshake. MJF shouts for him to not follow them and be a star. Garcia goes for another handshake, but he's stopped and is forced to leave the ring. I thought that this match was really good. Daniel Garcia can wrestle. He can pro wrestle when he's in there with the right person. MJF is one of those right people. I do like the match that they had. It was a great pro wrestling match. It was really good. Not a bunch of stupid stuff. It would have fit right back there in the very late 70s, most of the 80s. It would have been really good.
Daniel Garcia is a pro wrestler who can pro wrestle at any given time, but he works for AEW.
There you go.
That's the problem.
Yep.
When he wrestled in Jonathan Gresham's short-lived show, it was amazing.
Yes, he put on matches. I'm like, this guy should be main eventing all the time.
Daniel Garcia was amazing. And at that time, he was main eventing all the time, just
not.
It wasn't up to that caliber.
Yeah, it wasn't actual main event stuff.
You know,
he was main eventing as the last match, but not the right opponent for the right stuff.
It just goes to show that what Sedrik and I have been saying all this time is correct. These people are well versed. A lot of them, are well versed in professional wrestling, but when in Rome, so they're in Rome.
Yep, and Rome is just not making sense, which is why Rome fell. Legit, if Rome made sense, it wouldn't have failed. Mark Briscoe with a good promo hyping up his match with Jay White. He brought up Jay couldn't grow a beard to save his life, but now he looks like a grown-ass man. Still, he's no man because he has people doing his bidding. He's like, the big chick is going to the big city. He's going to whoop his ass. And I'm like, yeah, man, cool. It was a good, pre-tape promo, and I liked it. Mm-hmm. Really good. Sting and Darby Allin versus the Outrunners came up. Sting wins with the Scorpion hold.
This match was really unnecessary.
Yep. But they did it. Just something to throw in there. It was nice. The people love Sting. They want to see Sting. Now that they got a retirement date, they really want to see him as much as possible.
Trying to milk that for all it's worth.
Yep. Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida sit down with Tony Schiavone. Shida wants to know what happened to Storm, and Tony says that Shida happened. Tony should have won the title at Wembley, but Shida did, and all of this is happening. And so Storm is like, since she can't make history, she became history. And I thought that was cool. Can't make it, so be it.
The whole time before the thing started, she just rubbing her temples like, this chick makes my head numb. It's so funny to me. Every time Tony comes out, she just looking like, what is this about? I don't understand.
It was all presented in black and white, and I was like, you know what? Them ladies' legs look pretty good in black and white or grayscale. Mm-hmm. I was like, they're pretty good. And look, I'm a dude. I'm gonna notice. All right. So we get Swerve Strickland versus Penta of the No Fear.
They're in Washington State,
so you know what's up. Anyway, Swerve comes to the ring looking like a boss, and in the back, Nana is dancing his ass off and having the time of his life. The fans are doing Nana's dance, and in the ring, Nana smiling mischievously behind Strickland's back as he dances. I'm serious. I was pulled in. I'm enjoying it.
And Strickland looking hard. If he saw what was going on behind him, he would not be able to maintain that countenance.
Nah, he wouldn't. He would be cracking up laughing. He probably looked back at it and laughed like, this dude, Nana cracks me up.
All the way live. He is his own. He's the private party.
Yes. Whatever happened to them?
The
Quinn had potential.
The funny haired dude is gone. I don't know if he got hurt or he said something about Tony Khan's mom. I don't know, but he gone.
Now, I don't know if his booking is that great. What? You have to leave. I don't know. Who knows? I could look it up. I could, but I just don't care to. I'll probably look it up later. I don't know. So Penta's gear is awesome as he does the single most awesome strut in pro wrestling history.
Yeah, he look good. Black and metallic orange.
Yep. Now that's where it all ends. This is just a spot monkey match. That's all it is. Spot monkey crap. It's nice. It looks cool. But Swerve wins with the double foot stomp for the win. Yay. Hometown guy win, right?
Yeah.
After the match, Adam Page runs in and attacks with a chair, chasing Swerve and hitting him with it up the ramp. Adam uses the dead eye to jump from the ramp onto a table, which didn't look so well, so they had to do a close-up shot of it, which is the best way to save that. Adam was so angry out of the home invasion and everything that's happened, he waited until the end of the match to attack Swerve. I'm pissed. You're going to be holding me back from the moment he get to the building.
And then once you get your hands on him, you grab him and jump off of something with him. I ain't mad at me.
Yeah, I throw him off. onto a table, but I ain't jumping with him. We are the only way we both going is if that's the only recourse. That's it. No, all options are dead. That's the only way I'm going with you. See, and then I wrote, seeing that Swerve and Penta just survived about 15 injury spots. This is nothing.
Not at all. You're just laying there resting.
Flipping pile drivers on the apron, on the floor, in the ring. All kinds of neck injury angles and arm breaking moments. This is nothing. This here is nothing. You might as well just body slam him and be like, yeah, and walk off. Because that's about what it amounts to now. The whole match killed this. Just saying. Backstage, Jay White delivers a fast promo that I thought was pretty all right, pretty good.
He was focused.
Yeah, he was focused, and you could tell he had to sum it up, and he wasn't too happy doing it, but he did it.
But for him not being too happy, he looked serious.
Yep.
And he didn't spend the whole time going, no, shh, and all that.
Well, that's in the ring.
I know, but it's also annoying.
Yeah. So after that, Jericho and Omega are talking oddly, and the Bucks come in. And they're angry that Omega and Jericho call themselves the Golden Jets when Omega was elite. Jericho says the Jets can beat them. The Bucks want a full gear match. Jericho wants their title shot. The Bucks want them to break up and get Kenny back with them. Kenny calls them bitchy, whiny children, and they need to act like adults before he and then he walks away. And he's like, you needed to hear it, maybe you need to hear it from me. And it hit me. Kenny's shirt looks weird on him because he's wearing the shirt that Foe wears in CR Fire Pro Road.
Huh. He was also standing there staring off into space before everybody started talking, like he was holding in gas. And he was focused.
Jericho says that looking at the Bucks, he says that he's going to take them to the woodshed, and then he reminds them that he has his own dressing room. And I'm like, the Bucks come in with, you were our friend. We were friends and you were elite. Why are you going to be, with him? And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Why does everything boil down to, you took my friend?
Bucks!
Is someone writing this? Are they in need of friends?
This is stupid. And Kenny is like, he legitimately pulls a Jim Cornette on him. And it's almost like he got with Jericho. And Jericho's like, dude, I know I do some silly stuff, but at least be a man about it. Mm-hmm. You're the final leg of your career. You want to use it being with these party people that can't party at all. Be a part of building AEW into something instead of just the flip along gang show. That's what it seems like. We're gonna have to just see how this goes, because if this is quote unquote real, I want to see how quote unquote real it gets. And yeah, we saw Omega and somebody versus the Bucks at a New Japan show. I think one of the first Strong shows. It was a tournament, and it was going to crown the first IWGP US champion or something. And that match got to me because the Bucks put themselves on Kenny's shoulders like, do it, like, and whatnot. And he did the One Wing Angel and won the match. And so he's like, yeah, I got to win over you. And that's kind of evidence. Okay, so all right. So now we get to Keith Lee versus Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor TV title.
It was a good match.
Lee has no entrance attire and no pyro now. And the chants from the fans are as follows: meat, M-E-A-T, meat. Okay, meat forever, and slap that meat. They were into this match.
They were.
Great pro wrestling big man match. Mm-hmm. They both did very little to each other. Strike exchanges. So when they got a slam or a suplex,
it was immense.
And the crowd would pop for it. This was just too big. Robo JR would have enjoyed this match.
He would have enjoyed this match. All the body shots in the corner.
This took me back. To to days of like, Simmons and Vader and, Doom versus the Steiners and stuff like that.
And you have to consider, since AEW doesn't really like big men, you don't see them wrestle often. 1 and 2, they don't wrestle each other. They're used to throwing these little skinny minis around.
You can see it. You can see that they heave each other.
They have to hit some weight. They had to activate their inner earth mover to work with each other.
Yep. Joe ultimately got the sleeper choke on. You can see Keith was stunned, and referee stoppages. Keith was incapable of fighting back or continuing.
And it makes sense. Folks are very rarely able to take Keith down, let alone put him into a successful submission maneuver. So it all makes sense.
My thoughts were, if Lee loses, that would be mostly fine. But if he wins, then that could help prompt, Shane Taylor and him. It could help that. But they didn't go that route. They went with Joe winning. So after that, Joe talks about being hungry and he wants that AEW world title. So right then he laid the Ring of Honor TV title down and vacated it and walked off.
Who else he gonna wrestle for?
He done beat everybody. That's more or less
574 days. Who else could they put up against him and it makes sense? Nobody. So rather than be the Orange Cassidy with the Ring of Honor TV title, he decided, what, I've made my case. Let me move on to bigger fish.
Yep. And then backstage, Orange Cassidy cuts a decent promo, but I just don't fully believe him. He has been an LOL for so long. He has to show me he's a serious wrestler. That's how I see it. And Hook, don't wear hoodies and shades. You look like your mom. Don't do that. I just see your mom. I don't see the guy. I don't see little Taz. I see mom. Don't do that.
You never see little Taz.
I see little Taz at points.
You might be the milkman, baby.
Oh, come on now. I'm just okay. So then we come to a tag team match: the Guns versus the Bollywood Boys.
Oh man!
And they say the Bollywood Boys making their AEW Dynamite debut.
They're real good in that area. They're from the Seattle area. They look like a broke down Acclaim with their gear.
Yeah.
And then it was over.
Yeah, the fans love the Bollywood Boys. You can hear them. It was a squash match ending with 310 to Yuma real quick. The Guns cut a decent promo. Colton didn't sound as convincing as Austin, but his words sounded true. He'll speak truth to hurt and then lie to antagonize. So good job in that. Good job in that. They did a good job in that. Backstage, MJF looks at the monitor, and then Joe walks up from behind him. Max looks back, sees him, says nothing, and walks off while Joe stands there smiling. So that had me laughing. Mm-hmm. Then Wardlow put a promo in about getting his hands on MJF and feeling the horror of his talent being wasted. And I wrote, I suggest you find a way out of this talent vortex and get to the WWE. At least you'll be seen by more people. Talent will be wasted, but you'll be seen.
How in the world you gonna bitch and moan about having to get your hands on someone that had their foot on your neck? Well, one, you already ended that situation. It was over. You bested him. You won. Now you're gonna come back and revisit it. I guess you looked in the mirror one day and said, I'm mad. This go around, it wasn't MJF that sent you home. I guess it was Tony for some reason. And even worse, you had him. You caught him in the hallway. You had him by his neck and his clothes. He couldn't get away. You didn't do anything with him. Like you went out with your favorite girl. You've been wanting her for a year. You get home, she get out of clothes, and you turn on PlayStation.
Oh,
that's what you did.
Yeah, that's what the Young Bucks do.
That's what you did. So
people mad at me for saying that.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you want to hurt him. I don't believe you go do anything to him. You get your hands on him, because when you had him, you did nothing. You don't put on the condom unless you're ready to.
Yep.
And
speaking of that, next we get Julia Hart versus Red Velvet.
Speaking of,
And
Red Velvet's been injured for 9 months. They said with the knee injury. She had a brace on. She's put on a little bit of weight. She looks good. She looked ready to go. Except for her makeup. Her makeup didn't match her. Some makeup person in the back failed her.
Yeah, she looked very zombie.
She looked very grayscale.
As if the wrong people put her makeup on.
Whoever was doing her makeup when she was with Jade did not do it today.
Yep. Velvet's gear is damn nice.
Oh, yeah.
And she's sporting a knee brace. Damn good match. They didn't hold back. Bills on the floor. Slams on the floor. Rough house beating in the ring. I mean, it was epic. It was brutal. And there was no, this is stupid. This is silly. No, they wrestled. They fought. We could see where they were brutalizing each other but protecting each other. So we're not going to really spoil any of that because the match is just good.
Yeah.
It's a really good match. Velvet's brace kept slipping, but she would always pull it up at the right times. Even when it would hamper knee movement, she would compensate. Velvet's gotten good.
Mm-hmm.
She's gotten good. The weight that she put on, everything had more oomph. That's needed.
And it seems that because of who she was wrestling, she didn't do any of the dangerous stuff that she was doing before.
Yes.
Maybe getting hurt has done something for her mind. Where she's like, I need to protect myself.
Yeah, if I'm going to do this for a while, I need to make sure I can do it for a while. Wild horses got to run until they get hurt and realize, oh crap, I need to slow down.
If I don't, they're going to turn me into glue.
Yep. And Velvet didn't want to become glue.
It'd have been red glue.
Yeah, would that look good? Well, it depends on what you got to be something red.
Crafty, arts and crafts. You could use some red glue.
It was a nice spot outside the ring after Julia slammed her and said, "Piece of cake." You had to point that out to me.
Yes.
Yeah, you pointed it out to me. And after the match, Julia, she won with the moonsault. I was concerned because she stomped the brakes off of Velvet while getting her closer to the corner, which is masterful. You're going to set up for a dive. You don't just lay them down and let them inch into place. You beat them into the place that you want them.
Yeah.
You put them where you want to land.
Guy, do some damage.
Yep. And I was like, she's really close to that corner. I was concerned. But Julia hit that really tight moonsault. I think she might have put her about 4 inches too close. But she still landed it.
She compensated. Julia Hart is precise. Whatever her her cheerleading experience prior to wrestling makes her precise.
Yes. Very precise. And Brody wasn't out there with her.
Nah, man, she didn't have a valet. I ain't like that.
I ain't like that either, but I also thought, you know what? If she loses, you can say, okay, she didn't have a valet, so that, maybe power through association wasn't there. There's things they could work with, and Velvet get the win, come back, get the win, and look strong, especially with what happens later. So after the match, Julia locks in Heartless on Velvet. Sky Blue runs in. Julia breaks the hold, and they stare at each other. Julia is looking over Sky Blue with this weird serpentine back and forth thing that I thought was kind of sexy.
She was looking for something, looking to see if the switch has flipped.
The switch is flipped, or as Sockface said, if the mist is in her mouth. And it's like, you can't see that with the mouth closed, you jackwad.
Yeah, really.
Either case. And I like how Sky has a good woman's voice for doing promos. Somebody work with her on promos if you can. Work with her. Work with Sky Blue. Let that voice shine. She's got that very young, soft face. So her attitude, her personality is right there on the surface. So if she's mad, it's obvious. She's happy. In the middle, it is clear. So use that. Don't put no more makeup on her because you cover that up. She's just She just needs to be trained just right, you know. Hopefully someone's going to be working with her, because that right there's a diamond in the rough, and right now they got some shine on it, but they need to get a little polishing and maybe put it under the laser a little bit more. Just saying. So Julia's not happy with what she sees, and you know, while she's looking Sky over. So then Sky's friends come in to aid her and check on Velvet. Obviously the numbers against Julia, so Hart leaves the ring. This is a storyline that I'm interested in.
Because Chris Statlander keeps coming to Sky Blue's defense, and Sky's like,
I don't care.
I don't want you here. She's still good with Willow, because, I mean, she's Willow. But Chris is almost like Sky Blue and turned a little evil. Now she can smell the bullshit.
Backstage, they introduce a new talent to the roster by the name of Mariah May, who sounds like a teeny bop girl meeting her idol. I'm not impressed by her. Until I see something, she's just another blonde girl for backstage use.
What's a thing to call them? Porcelain Betties?
Porcelain Betties?
And I think they call them porcelain something.
Porcelain, so they porcelain. I don't know, but they porcelain. Just something easy to break. Next, we get the main event. We get Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. Really good lockup in the opening. And yeah, Stevie Richards, he's right. You know, that lockup, you see it, and it pretty much lets you know how this match is going to go. How serious are you going to take it? How serious are they going to take it?
Hey, you know the same thing was true for Velvet and Julia's match. Do you remember that lockup?
Yep. It won't long, but they locked up strong.
No, it was long.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't looking too much. I was probably too busy typing.
They were jockeying for position across the ring with the lockup.
Well, shoot. It's showing some. Now, this is new to AEW. I'm going to get into something after this. I just want to bring some things to people's attention afterwards. And if you're mad at me, you're mad at me, but you can't, you tell me where I'm telling lies, right? So look, really good lockup at the opening. Mark sits Jay up top, hits him with a strong shote, knocking him to the floor, where Mark hits a cactus elbow, and it was nicely done. I don't know how many times he should really do that though, because that's some serious wear and tear on your hips. The match turns when Mark climbs the ropes and the guns hold his leg, allowing Jay to recover and hit a DDT.
Dude got 6 kids. I think his hips are working fine.
During the break, Mark gets control but misses a flipping senton on the floor. Juice Robinson, as you had to point it out to me, Cedric, that Juice Robinson gets to Jay White and asks if he's okay, and then tells him to breathe with himself.
Breathe with yourself.
Silly.
Juice is so stupid.
Love some Juice Robinson. Back from the break, Jay White retained control, working the leg of Mark Briscoe, who fights back and hits a missile drop kick. They exchange strikes. I wasn't too happy with that part of it, but Mark fires up with a flurry of strikes, that chops and stuff that leads to an Irish whip exchange. Mark hit a nice hangman's net breaker for a 2 count. Mark hit a nice fisherman buster for a 2 count. Jay turns things around with a dragon screw through the ropes. This is nearing more the end of the match. Mark counters a charge with a rolling Death Valley driver and then hits the froggy bow for a near fall. Juice calls for the Kiwi Crusher, and that used to be Jay White's finisher.
Back in the Ring of Honor days.
Yep. And Jay delivers. Got it for a 2 count. But it was nice to hear someone from the outside calling for it ahead of time.
Yeah, Juice was calling for it.
And then Mark counters a few things and hits an actual Uranage. Because that was overhead, landing on his shoulders that they wanted to call an exploder. No way.
They had their chance to call it Uranage, and they blew it.
Yep.
You failed the commentary.
In the corner, Jay counters a charge with an elbow, but only to catch a lariat. Jay hits the sleeper suplex, followed by a sheer drop brainbuster for a 2 count. And I put the note here that the sleeper suplex is what Taz used for an injury angle on Sabu. Just let y'all know. Taz sleeper hold, lock the hands, suplex them back. Get a commentator. It's like he locked his hands. That's a suplex. That's a suplex. And Sabu got up, pointing at his neck and whatnot, and they had to check on him and stuff. And Taz was like, I don't care. Then he started attacking Sabu afterwards. That was good. That was good. Mark fights out of the Blade Runner only to get another sleeper suplex put on him. Jay quickly lands an Azteca brain buster and then hit the Blade Runner for a 3 count.
When you fought out of the first Blade Runner, is that when he was using the Captain Kirk chops?
Yep.
He just started chopping them old school.
It was, Kasagiri or Taser chops. Yeah, it was old school, just chop, chop, chop.
Right in the neck.
Yep, he was landing them. He did good. Mark did. It was a good match.
It was a very good match.
It was a damn good match.
And it wasn't too long.
That was a little silly, a little not necessary, but overall, it was a good match. NJF music plays, and he sneaks up on them, knocks the henchman out with the diamond ring. He and Jay got a standoff, ring versus belt. Jay bails quickly and is surrounded by his people. MJF cuts a great babyface promo, and the lights go out. Backstage, the Putties attack the Acclaimed.
Man, they whooped them. They whooped them.
Yep.
Putty was like 4 or 5 putties.
And they throw Bowens through the glass. The lights are back on. MJF runs to the back through the crowd and stands incapable of helping anyone. Just stands around. There's no EMT, no staff to assist the fallen.
Nope, they just messed up.
Samoa Joe enters and says, "You're running out of friends," and then leaves with a laugh.
So to me, this tells me, because we all know that Samoa Joe is very cerebral. And that he will play the long game. I think he is behind these quote-unquote devil putty attacks.
So who's on his side, though?
So that he can isolate. You can find putties anywhere. There's some outside right now saying we'll work for gear. You can find putties anywhere. I think this is all Samoa Joe's doing to isolate MJF. Because think about it. He started with Adam Cole and there was no reprisal. He choked the dude out on the ramp in front of everybody and his woman and his tiny clothes and nothing. There's no consequence. They just moved on like it never happened.
I wonder if the devil would be if it would be MJF and he's doing this dual thing, and obviously, when things go south and they need another heel, he could become that heel again or whatnot.
Maybe.
Because you don't see this, the devil's always a pre-tape. It's just something they stick
just
in
flash
there.
on the screen.
And it's the same one over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it twice and then they just repeated in there. Who knows where we're going to go right now. Right now, this is like the Black Scorpion. It's funny how Brian Last and Jim Cornette brought that up, because I was like, yeah, it is like the Black Scorpion, which was Flair. It was. I wasn't a fan of it, but it was all right. Here's what I want you to notice about this. This show had better lockups, and most of the show was pro wrestling. The promos were shorter. And there's a major difference in things. The major difference, and people are going to hate this, Ric Flair is there. And I want to point something out. There's a lot of people that's all angry and emotionally hurt that Ric Flair is there, that Tony Khan is being so hypocritical and stuff because, when Dark Side of the Ring came out, he was like, no, we got to stay away from that. But some time has passed. We'll bring you in and try to do business. Such a hypocrite. It's like, look, welcome to capitalism, dumbasses. It's capitalism. It's pro wrestling. You know how many deals that Vince McMahon has made that would be not just hypocritical, but criminal? You know how many things he's done to screw over the fans in the building, let alone at home, and everyone forgives him. You know how much damage Eric Bischoff did to WCW trying to compete with WWF. Do you know how much stupidity AEW was when their inception of flippy flop people that don't know what they're doing in the ring with no storyline, no kind of promo skills, no promos anyway. People just go in the ring for 10 to 25 minutes flipping and botching and injury and stupid stuff. And y'all thought AEW was better then? Marks can't even be that dumb.
Yeah, they can.
I know I'm breaking the rules. I know I am, and that's gonna get people downvoting and disliking me. But you got to be an idiot to think the first years of AEW were the best. You got to be. I don't want to just sit here and do all this picking on people and whatnot. Because the people, a good listener's gotten on me on that, once. But straight up, I've been called some bad names and gotten downvotes for supporting pro wrestling in AEW. So I can easily see all of those as insults. I'm probably going to get some downvotes for this because people aren't bright. Speak your mind. You're going to give a downvote but not say what the issue is? Then, okay, you're weak and dumb. That's just you. That's just you. But Ric Flair coming in, supporting his drink, his energy drink and whatnot, that's business. That's Ric Flair doing business. That's Tony Khan saying, I'm going to bring in Ric Flair. For everyone that's roughly, I'm going to say 39 and a half and up, Sting and Flair together, that's brilliant. That was brilliant. It's a nice gift. It's a beautiful gift. I think they could have done better. They could have hyped it up.
If he's going to use Flair as a consultant to make things better, then that just answers my question, because I didn't really care that Flair was there. I just want to know what he was going to do.
And now you see this show with wrestling, more wrestling, better promos. Things are linear, okay? That's something Flair would do if he was booking. Everything should make sense and flow.
Yeah, Jay White's promo does make sense because Flair was expedient. He said a lot and he always got it done quickly.
Yes.
Before he started attacking his own clothing.
Well, yeah. So if y'all mad over this, then what's wrong with y'all? Y'all got to take a step back and think. If you want morals, then you got to get rid of capitalism. Y'all just gonna have to hate on me on that, because that's the truth. Tell me where I'm telling lies. Because what would you do right now, Mr. Moral Listener, if someone offered you $1 million or more to do something that you normally would think is stupid on TV? And they say, we'll pay you $1 million a year. I got to just come in, do some stupid stuff, and get beat up on, or let someone stand there and pick on you and then move on. We'll hire you with staff. We'll just let them beat the hell out of you doing these angles and whatnot, and then that's it. You'd be there in a heartbeat. You drop everything and every one of your friends and you'd go. I've watched it on YouTube for years. I've watched everyone talk their game, get money, and then screw it over. So, yeah, that's business. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it myself. But at the same time, Ric Flair, the airplane thing, first of all, get over that. One, won't you? Two, that's ages ago. Ages ago. How much stupid stuff have you done in the past 6 months that would get you fired or chastised by somebody? What did you do yesterday? And I'm pretty sure you would want to be forgiven if you saw a shot at making money. So you sure enough need to back off of this. He took his junk out, helicoptered in front of some woman. Let them settle that. Let them settle it. If they don't settle it, then it ain't settled. Ain't got nothing to do with you. And he didn't have, no one even had to say that. Just think for a second. Nobody had to say that at all. No woman had to say anything. Flair didn't have to say anything. The boys on that plane or anyone did. They didn't have to say anything. It could have kept their mouth closed and nobody would know about it. Then what would you be mad about?
Something else.
What would you be mad about? You know, then you just say he's too old to wrestle. Who said he's wrestling?
Yeah, I think he knows that by now. He's not in great health.
He's not in great health, but he can still talk. And if anything of you out there, and this is a positive closing, take a step back. Think about it. All right? Straight up, if you don't like the moral thing that's going on, well, I would say amoral thing that you would call it with pulling in Flair, then you know you need to be against capitalism, at least the way it is. But with Flair there's the chance that AEW will stop being so WWE and be more of not how the NWA is now, but the way NWA was in the 80s. Which is nothing WWF/WWE would ever be. Real situations, real people, fights that you can't tell are BS. Grown adult situations. Antagonistic assaults. That's what you want. You want blood at the right time, not any time. That's what Flair can bring. Flair is one of the greatest bookers in history. One of the. And he can teach Tony Khan a lot if Tony Khan is willing to listen and abide by it. It bothers me that Flair comes in and Anderson leaves. He's been gone for about, what, 2 months? Or whatnot? But still, well, they're going to bring someone in.
Anderson been gone since Wardlow's been gone. It's about 3 months.
No. I'm talking about like officially leaving. Like this is like official, not just not being there.
Oh, so he like quit or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Quit.
Probably because he got tired of getting bounced around. Maybe his contract ended. Maybe he didn't know Flair was coming.
Who knows?
Flair probably didn't know he was coming 2 months ago.
Probably. But I'm just saying, there's a chance at seeing AEW turn into professional wrestling that's not WWE. Because I understand y'all mad that's getting WWE like, so am I. But this could really be an actual game changer. So yeah, immoral, not cool. Okay, I get you. But this could be worthwhile in the end to make AEW stand apart from the other companies and build itself and an actual professional wrestling crowd like it should. That's what you should be hoping for. See the positive in it. Like I said, I'm not happy with it in terms of the moral, but when it comes to potential of greatness, jump on board that. AEW, for its inception, even up until almost now, stupid. It's gotten less stupid. Now I want to go smart. Don't you? Don't you want AEW to be better? Just saying. Take a step back, rethink stuff, kill all of these stupid, noisy podcasts that's like, I don't like that Flair is there, Tony Khan is a hypocrite. No, kill that noise. Kill that noise. This ain't some tribal crap. Number one is business. Number two is business for you too, because you want to see a better product. And if this can get it, do it. Do it. Whatever legal crap Flair is going through, let him go through it. But that's got nothing to do with you. Nothing. It's that simple. So with that, it's been Sedrik for CRS the Commentary, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. Y'all be safe, be chill, and we'll see you next time, maybe. Because of how you feel. Downvote. Let me know why, if you got the courage. But we read it. So see you next time.